Welcome back to your 10-Minute Executive Coach. I'm Paul Burke with Business Acceleration, and this channel is dedicated to those men and women who lead. Whether you lead a small team or a global enterprise, this channel is dedicated to help you lead well. Provide tools, some insight. We're on episode 10 today, which is dealing with performance improvement plans. And we're in a series of dealing with direct reports. In episode 9, we kind of laid the framework of how we should be dealing with our direct reports. This is one of the tools that we use in leadership. A performance improvement plan can always connotate negative feelings and emotions for everybody, but they are a tool that is vital when needed to document what our needs are from individual direct reports, employees. We're talking about direct reports right now. So the first thing before you get into doing a performance improvement plan with one of your people, we need to get ourselves in step mentally. And that is, why are we here? Or how, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? A performance improvement plan is not the hammer to beat someone up. It's not, I need to do this so I can fire them next week. It's not about, I'm angry, so I'm going to write you up. A performance improvement plan is what it states. It's about improving performance. And as we stated in episode 9, our job as leaders is to develop our people, to help them succeed, to help our teams succeed. When you approach this situation, I would like you to think of two words: truth and compassion. We need to deliver the hard truth. That's why we're here doing a performance improvement plan. But we need to deliver that with compassion, understanding that the individual we may be dealing with has a full career ahead of them. And this is just a point in time where we're going to document a performance that's not meeting our needs, that needs to improve to go forward. Now, this should be a culmination of many discussions about this performance. I mean, as we stated in episode 9, we should be having weekly one-on-ones with our direct reports. And this should never, a performance improvement plan should never be a surprise to anyone. If it is, we've failed as leaders. Now, there may be a sudden issue where a performance improvement plan comes into play, a behavioral issue that has come to light that needs to be addressed and documented. But mostly, these are progressive things we've discussed that are built up to say we need to be serious about this and we need to make improvements. This is not a career ender for anyone. Too often, someone hears performance improvement plan, they shrink in, I got to find a new job, I'm going to get fired, I'm all those things. Let's put this into perspective. One of the greatest military leaders in our history, in American history, at least absolutely one of the greatest naval leaders in our history, Admiral Nimitz, was court-martialed as an ensign. He took the learned lessons from that court-martial, ran a ship aground, and became one of the greatest naval leaders of all time. So keep that in mind when you're delivering this type of document and this type of meeting. This should not be a career ender. It should be an opportunity for someone to reset, to improve, to help the team going forward. So got your thinking straight, and hopefully you're going that way. We need to ask ourselves, how did we get here? And it's important about that process and start thinking about, we started talking about this 3 months ago in your mind as you're documenting the facts. How did we get here? Go through the whole thing. If it's an issue of behavior or something has happened, an incident happened and you need to address it, get clear on that. We need to make sure that when we're preparing this PIP, that we get the facts. We go through the whole thing and make sure we're not assuming things. One of the worst situations for a manager is to bring in an employee do a performance improvement plan, lay it out in front of them and realize you're wrong. You've got the facts wrong. That wasn't the case. So we need to do our homework. 2, we need to practice. I know, practice like a speech, kind of. If you haven't done this often, it can be an emotional situation. And we're trying to keep that emotion out of it and deliver the facts, and we're here to help that individual. There's no harm in practicing what you're going to do. Include your HR. If you have an HR department where you are, include that specialist. Make sure that they can help guide you to do the right things, to make the right steps. You don't want to come in and be nervous yourself. I mean, they're going to be nervous enough. We practice, prepare, know our stuff. And thirdly, let's make sure we eliminate our biases. Whatever they may be, we all have them. But we're coming into this and we want to make sure if we have biases that may turn up against this person, whether it's information you've heard from other managers, if it's not fact-based, let's just make sure we can say, I'm going to take those out, boom. We're not going to assume things. We're going to get the facts and deal with that. That's your preparation. Okay, you've prepared, you're ready to go, you've put this document together, and now you're going to bring in this person to your meeting office, maybe a meeting room, wherever it is, and you go through it. You're going to lay out the facts, how we got here with this individual. Here's what I see, all the way down, let it go. And now you need to stop and let them have input to make sure there's alignment. Don't go beyond this, laying out of facts, until you have alignment with that individual on what occurred, why it's short, what were the goals, how am I performing, how is it harming the team. We talked about in episode 9 of making sure our individuals know how their role is important to the greater organization. Well, a lack of performance impacts the greater organization. This is a great time to explain this and let this lay out. Once you have alignment with this individual, that may take some discussion. Maybe you'll learn some new facts you didn't have before. Now you can go into your action plan. Now you're going to prepare an action plan before you go into this meeting, but you need to put it in pencil. This is a great opportunity. You want weigh-in from this individual during this performance improvement plan on what the action plan is going forward, because then they'll have buy-in and they'll take it seriously. But have your actions. This is what we need to have happen in the next 30, 60, 90 days. This is what has to happen. And now let them help you design that. They may set higher standards than even you would. They realize where they're failed. It's a great opportunity, but get their input. It will really help get their buy-in when you're done. Now that action plan, I'm going to I'd say less is more. Bullet points, keep it simple, and use the acronym SMART, right? When you're setting goals: specific, measurable, obtainable, realistic, timely. Be specific. What it is, when it needs to be done, and how do we check in? That's the other piece. This may be a 30, 60, 90 day. Over 90 days, and there's some situations you may use a PIP, but really we're talking the next quarter, hopefully, max. You're going to set in check-in dates. Now, in episode 9, I had recommended that you should be meeting with your direct reports once a week. Checking in, making sure what they're doing, how they're going. This should be part of that weekly check-in. How are we doing on our action plan? Boom, there it goes. You make sure we get that done in a timely manner. If you're not doing those weekly check-ins, I'll say do them, and then you need to set check-in dates throughout this period. Doing a PIP and then say, oh, come back 90 days and you're there, you just wasted the time. This is not the best opportunity. And then when it's done, when you've done this PIP, you've had this meeting, it's not, doesn't have to be a beat down. It should be a positive end, that there's an opportunity to improve. There's an energy of restart and re-go. When it's done, the end of 60 days, 90 days, whenever this is done, close it out with another meeting in this individual. Don't just let it hang there and wither and go on. Bring them back in. Hey, here's what we set the goal as. Here's what you accomplished. Thank you. Great work. So let's just summarize what we discussed today about performance improvement plans, PIPs as we call it. One, why are we here? Or, what are we trying to do? We're trying to improve performance, career development. This should not be the first step in helping someone. This should be a culmination where we have been coaching and guiding, and we need to document this to get this underperformance corrected. How did we get here? Make sure you understand the facts. How did we get to this point? What is going on? Who, what, where, when, times. Get all the facts and be clear. Prepare. Make sure you're prepared. Practice. Get advice from your HR. Don't assume. Eliminate your bias. Keep it dispassionate but helpful. Review it with them. Get alignment on what the issues are. Make sure they understand these are the issues, here's our goals, here's where you're expected to be. Make sure there's alignment there. They buy into that piece. And then when you put your action plan, make sure they have input and buy into that action plan, because then they will be committed and they will get it done. Of course, check in, follow up, and then close the darn thing out. That's it on performance improvement plans. I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, let us know at Business Acceleration. Lead well, my friend. Bye-bye.